A lot of new people getting into running the wheel strategy always ask the same questions. What are the best stocks to run the wheel strategy on to make and start collecting that weekly or monthly premium? In today's video, I'm going to show you a completely free way that I use to spy on winning wheel strategy stocks. And guys, I would really appreciate you hitting that like button, that subscribe button. It really helps this channel grow more than you know. And of course, guys, I hope you're having an absolutely God-blessed day. But today, we're talking research. How do we research good quality wheel strategy stocks, right? I've gotten this question a lot from ArkPicks users, right? Because you can load in, we have preloaded watch lists, people can toss in their own watch lists, which is great, but how do we actually go and see what are some of the ones worth, adding to our watch list and running the wheel strategy on? Well, guys, I'm not a very smart individual. Some of you say that I am, but I'm really not. But one thing I do is I let data tell me what to do, okay? I let data tell me what to do. I look at what are the best of the best doing. What are they selling options on? What are they doing the real strategy on? And then I research it for myself. So let's take a look. As many of you know, recently I've been talking a lot more about dividend-focused ETFs here, or income-focused ETFs here on this channel, right? A lot with JEPI. Right here is just JEPI, and here is JEPQ, right? Now, when I'm researching individual stocks, what I like to do is actually go see what some of these funds are holding right now. What is their position sizing? Because here's the key thing to understand, right? JEPI and JEPQ both make money selling covered calls. Now, their strategy is a lot different than these, QYLD, which basically sells at the money, covered calls, which, it leads to tremendous amounts of NAV erosion, which I hate those. I didn't know about that stuff 10 plus years ago when I was blinded by premium and yield, and I ended up pretty much losing all of my investment because of that. So the reason I primarily focus with JEPI and JEPQ, SCHD, I know dividend ETF, but still, but I also like to do individual stocks. You guys know that. That's primarily what we talk about here on this channel. Because the markets have been so crazy recently, I focused a lot more on JEPI, JEPQ, SCHD, and just buying and holding more SPY and QQQ for accumulation. That's just my strategy. That's what I do. I don't know if it's the right way to do it or not. You got to make your own decisions. But what we can do when we're looking for individual stocks is look at what is, like, for example, a JEPI doing, right? So for example, if you don't know what JEPI is, basically this is a company that offers a very, very nice dividend of a little over 7.5%, okay? Now the way they're doing this is they are doing the strategy that we love to do, right? They are selling monthly covered call options against S&P 500 stocks, okay? Now here I'm just on their main website, and we can go and see what their actual, performance is. Obviously there's fees associated with this stuff, right? We could see historical prices. We could see what their actual portfolio is. We could see the dividends, right? When are those paid out? All that good stuff. Now, I love running the wheel strategy on the funds itself because they're collecting covered call premiums, appreciation. I'm passing that back to me, but then I'm in addition selling the covered calls. You know that. But let's talk about what their actual holdings are. A lot of people don't realize this, and I get it. We're all busy. We got our own life going on. We got kids. We got family, work, business, all the busynesses of real life. But what we can actually do here on JEPI, and I like doing JEPI because JEPI is a much better solid foundation, and it's a lot less volatile than JEPQ, which follows the S&P, for the NASDAQ, okay? Now, the reason that, for example, here's JEPQ, we could see that we get a much more attractive yield, almost 11.5%, right? But we'll talk about the risks here a little bit more. JEPQ, obviously NASDAQ, a lot more volatile stocks, and take a look at this, right? Top 10 holdings here, NVIDIA, almost 7.5%, Apple, 6%, Google, 5.3%, and Microsoft, 5%, right? There's a huge amount of leverage in those top 5 holdings here that you can see, right? And there's, it's almost double when you start going down to the bottom 10 list, almost triple, right? If you look at, for example, Broadcom or Walmart and compared to what their holdings are in NVIDIA, right? So that leads to higher volatility, that leads to more premium, that leads to potentially more appreciation profit, which we obviously have seen with a JEPQ. But if we look at like a JEPI, right, and look at the top 10 holdings here on JEPI, we can see the top 10 holdings are a lot more diversified, right? Or more evenly distributed, right? So for example, one of my favorite stocks is J&J, right? I love J&J, right? Look at Ross Stores, man. Like that's interesting. Their second biggest holding is Ross Stores. Huh, interesting. I never even thought of that. Okay, well, maybe that sounds like something that's interesting. If it's good enough for JEPI, it's surely good enough for me. Okay, so let's ticker symbol ROST, and this is what I do, right? I have a bunch of watch lists here on my ArkPicks. I'll type it in right there. Boom. I will select my watch list that I want to put it on. I'll be like, okay, you know what? I want to put it on my core watch list. Cool. Ross isn't even on my stores now, on my watch list. So boom, I add it to my core watch list, and I'm going to now monitor it. I can go research it. I could go learn a little bit more about it, and I can even type it in right here and be like, okay, well, let's get a breakdown. Okay. Why is this the second biggest holding for JEPI right now? Why, right? I'll read about it. Ross stores, I've heard about them. I didn't, ever think I could sell options on them. Really? Okay. We could see the trade ideas about a 56 DTE. Okay. So not a very, liquid, stock, but still we got some, nice premiums that we can collect here. Looking at the 28-day to expiration. Okay. We're playing close to the money. The Ark pick for the 200 strike price currently trading at 208, yielding me a nice 1.2%. Oh, okay. That's not terrible for a 30-day to make a little over 1% on money. Scrolling down a little bit. All right, let's take a look at what the fundamentals are looking like. Okay, I'll read through this and be like, okay, well, why am I only getting a 6.3? Okay, company has genuinely impressive operating metrics, a great almost 38% return on equity, 27% return on invested capital. Okay, that's interesting. Well, what's with the ratings? Okay, let's go look at the valuation. Oh, P ratio 32. That's interesting. Let's look at the profitability. Okay, ROE. Okay, 38. And you see what I'm doing? I'm starting to educate myself. Okay, what's the recent news here? Okay, what's going on here? Okay, let me look at the most updated summary here. Okay, I'll click into some of the sources. I'll read what this means to my option selling game, and I start looking at it. Okay, dividend, okay, it's only about 1%, not that really good. Okay, well, let's go take a look at the chart. Where are we at right now? 208. Okay, 50-day moving average, 198. Oh, wow, we're trading well above the 200 and 300-day moving averages, and I'm starting to educate myself about this. Do you see what I'm doing? This is exactly the process that I do for pretty much all the stocks that I want to invest in. And think about it, guys. It's better to have a smaller portfolio that you can stay up to date with. And doesn't mean I'm going to trade this, but it means that's at least on my radar to start looking at. Okay, the next, let's go down the list. Nextera Energy. Oh, I've heard about this one. Okay, they own a little over 0.5% of this. AbbVie, one of my favorites. Oh, look at they have a nice size, about a 1.5% on Google. Right, even Nvidia a little bit. Okay, cool. Let me go see what else do they got going on. Okay, let me move this out of the way. Let me open up their entire sheet here, and let me move myself out of the way because I know you don't want to see me. All right, cool. Okay, now look at this. Look at this. I now have the full list of all of their holdings. Okay, right? And you can see as of date 3/19/2026. So as of yesterday, okay, this is what they are holding right now. And I can scroll through this. Now, it doesn't mean I'm going to necessarily jump into all these, but if they're selling covered calls for income against it, doesn't it make sense for me to maybe look into selling covered calls against them? I don't know. But I think so. I think it's worth it. Instead of going out there and trying to throw a dart at and hope that one sticks, right? And we can even see, obviously, right, a lot more information, about, what, sectors, industries, right, all this stuff. There's certain information that they're going to give, and certain information that they're not going to give, obviously. But the big one for me is to give me a breadcrumb, right? Give me a breadcrumb to go follow a path down, right? Like EOG Resources. Okay, what the heck is that? Let me go look at that. Man, this is a massive. Look at the market value of this company, right? And I maybe you've never even heard of it. RTX. Okay, let me go take a look at that. Right, and you can go down this list, and of course, there's going to be names that you've heard of. Apple's, AVGO, Broadcom, Microsoft, Analog Digital. Right, like these are a lot of these names that you've heard of. But there may be one that comes into mind here that you're like, maybe I never thought of that one. Right, maybe I never thought of one. Like Now, again, these are going to be what I like to do with ArkPicks, and even just in my watch lists in general, is when I put these in here, okay, like for example, if I go back to my watch list here, I do like having a larger watch list. It doesn't mean I'm going to always trade options on those or run the wheel strategy, collect premium. That doesn't mean that, but it gives me the more kind of in your watch list of high conviction stocks, and you can always delete them out. Like they don't have to live there forever. But think about it, guys. There's situations where we might might have like a little bit of extra collateral. Oh, we got an extra $1,000 in collateral. Let's like toss it into something, right? So if you only have like $300 stocks, right, that's like a, and you that's $30,000 put at the money, right? So it's like, you know what I mean? Like even if you did the 28s or 280s, whatever, it's still a lot of money no matter who you are to wrap up $25,000+ in collateral. Okay. But I like to have some of these cheaper ones in here. A lot of like the JEPIs and stuff, they might not have like extreme amounts of like cheaper kind of stocks. What I love about like what I love about, like, for example, an SCHD, a JEPI, JEPQ, right? There's strict filtering that they do before these stocks can even qualify to be even in their ETF, right? When you compare it to, like, for example, a QILD or the other ridiculously, high yield ETFs, the income ETFs that pay, like, in my opinion, right, like I rather focus on the ones that have a strict quality control filter, and those are the stocks. I know it's boring. It's not what YouTube wants to hear. It's not what you want to hear, because you're like, hey, I just want to have my 20% yield a year, when that's absolutely ridiculous. That's absolutely ridiculous. But when I have like an extra, let's say I had like $2,000 extra collateral, I'm like, you know what, I want to get into something today. I'm able to sort it out by price, right? I'm able to sort it out by price. I can then go look at, hey, what's oversold right now? What's giving me a good return on my collateral that I'm willing to take that risk on, and then go actually execute the trade. But if you're always wrapped up in like $20,000-$30,000 stocks, and there's nothing wrong with that, they're way safer, more secure, and your capital's still earning interest. Obviously, that's the whole Ark Options Strategy way. We have 5 sources of income. We got our cash secured puts entries at prices. We got our interest that we're earning while we wait to buy that cash secured put. We got our covered call premiums. We're collecting the dividend either monthly or quarterly, and then of course that appreciation profit, which is so important. Which a lot of these other high yield income ETFs, they don't take advantage of that appreciation. That's why they super underperform. Like for example, QILD compared to the actual like a QQQ. So guys, that's it for today's video. If you guys are interested, take this a little bit further, especially if you're a beginner. Plus, get all of my resources completely for free. My trade lock template, my 2 premium calculators, all this is given away for free at the end of the Ark Options Strategy workshop. I promise you it's a great 90 minutes and a great use of your time. And at the end, I give you these free bonuses completely for free. So click that first link in the description of today's video, guys. Remember, sell options, collect premiums, repeat. I'll see y'all tomorrow.